Welcome back to my channel. This is Aping Cuts. In today's video, we'll be doing a comb over fade, also adding a side part on his left side. So I'm gonna show you guys a 360 of his hair before the cut. Since he doesn't have that much length on the sides, we're gonna go straight with the trimmer, creating our bald line. So this would indicate where we start our fade. So the higher this line is, the higher the fade, the lower the fade will be. Now with the clip or lever fully open, we're gonna create our guideline. So it's gonna be an inch thick, and make sure to keep it consistent throughout. Now closing the lever fully, we'll begin at the bottom of the guideline and begin to raise that slightly with the lever fully closed. Now we open the lever a little bit more, and same thing, we raising that line little by little. So what I like to keep in mind is the higher you are into the guideline, the more open your lever should be. And I open the lever about 4 to 5 times in just this one guideline, just so that it's a nice transition in between that whole guideline. And by the time I reach the top, as you see here, I like to flick out so it's easier for the other guards to fade. Now with the number 1 guard, we're gonna create our next guideline. Same thing, gonna be about an inch thick. Making sure not to dig into the side of his hair. We're kind of scooping out as we create that guideline. I like to go over it a couple times just to make sure everything is even. And now we close that number 1 guard and focus mainly our attention on that bottom line. We're just gonna soften up the line. This is not gonna fade it out completely, but it's gonna soften it up. As you can see, it's getting a little lighter in that line. So it just makes it easier for us to come over with the other guards, and it fades out faster. Now with our half guard, lever fully open, we're gonna go on the same line just to soften it up some more. Making sure not to go too high with this guard so we could prevent making any bald spots or patches, anything like that in the higher area of the fade. Now closing the lever fully is going to completely remove that bottom line we see. So take your time with this. If you have to open the lever slightly, just open it a little bit. It's the same thing with the other steps, where it's like if you're higher into the fade, the lever should be more open so it doesn't cut off so much hair. And on this step, I do use a lot more of the corners just to get like a nicer blend. Now with our 1.5 guard, lever fully open, we're gonna go an inch up from the last guideline we created. Making sure the same thing, we're coming off the side of the head, we're not trying to dig in and create a harsh line. Now closing that lever fully, we begin to soften more of that dark area we see, making sure not to go too high, we're gonna stop pretty much a little bit lower than we did with the 1.5 guard open. Our main goal is to kind of just soften that area where the hair meets the long length and the short length. So I went back with my number 1 guard, opening and closing the lever as needed in certain areas just to kind of get those little dark spots we see. If you guys have any questions about the haircut, drop a comment. If you're enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. So to complete the transition from the side to the long hair on the top, we're going to use our thinning shears. This is going to blend that length together. Moving on to the lineup, we're going to start in the middle and make our way to either side. What I like to do is clip the hair out the way so I can clearly see where I'm cutting. And if you need to, step back from your client just to see if that lineup is straight. Now with my trimmer, I'm going to remove all the hair underneath. And also move that ear so you can get that hair that's in the back of it. It's kind of easy to miss. With my shaver, I'm going to go over that area that I went over with my trimmer so we get a nice and skin tight look. I don't know if you guys noticed too, I go down with the shaver first and then up, so it's a little more of a comfortable shave for my client. So with the razor work, we're gonna razor up the lineup, make it more sharp, stretch the skin so you don't cut your client. So once I finished the lineup, I went back with my clipper just to do some detail work. Very important just to detail your work because it'll make it stand out. So moving on to the side part, I don't really like doing the side parts too high, so I do it to where I feel suits the person, but it all depends on your client if they want it higher or lower. And it's the same steps I did on the other side that I did to this side for the fade. As you see, my client's feeling his cut. Just changed the man's life. So what do you guys think about the cut? Let me know in the comments below how it came out, what you guys want to see next. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe, and thank you for watching.